The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Real appreciation must flow from the deep seas of the heart. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. The time is always ripe to do right. And so let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy to a friend. We've learned to fly the air like birds. We've learned to swim the seas like fish. And yet we haven't learned to walk the earth like brothers and sisters. There is nothing more majestic and sublime than the quiet testimony of a people willing to sacrifice and suffer for the cause of freedom. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop and I don't mind. One day we will learn that the heart can never be totally right when the head is totally wrong. We must remember that intelligence is not enough. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. If you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving. So in the days ahead, let us not sink into the quicksands of violence. Rather, let us stand on the high ground of love and non-injury. So it means that we must rise up and protest courageously wherever we find segregation. Yes, we must do it non-violently. We cannot afford to use violence in the struggle. There is no such thing as separate but equal. Separation, segregation inevitably makes for inequality. No, violence is not the way. Hate is not the way. Bitterness is not the way. We must stand up with love in our hearts, with a lack of bitterness and yet a determination to protest courageously for justice and freedom in this land. You see, equality is not a matter of mathematics and geometry, but it is a matter of psychology. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Every man of humane convictions must decide on the protest that best suits his convictions, but we must all protest. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. Love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in the being of God. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Violence is immoral because it thrives on hatred rather than love. Violence ends up defeating itself. It creates bitterness in the survivors and brutality in the destroyers. I know that love is ultimately the only answer to mankind's problems. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. We must use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always right to do right. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be a sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out by the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amid the piercing chill of an alpine November. If democracy is to have breadth of meaning, it is necessary to adjust this inequity. It is not only moral, but it is also intelligent. We are wasting and degrading human life by clinging to archaic thinking. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.